Yes, people. We are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another edition of the ManDem United podcast dedicated to all things Manchester United. So please keep all your comments, all your questions, Manchester United related, people. Ten Hag is gone. I know it was last week Sunday, people, but let me just repeat that we are free. We are free. Ten Hagless Manchester United. Manchester United played their first game without first Premier League game, I should say, without Ten Hag in charge. But are Manchester United still suffering despite the scrub being gone? 1-1 draw against Chelsea. We will be discussing that. I'll bring the ManDem into the show in a second. But like I said, keep all your comments, questions, Manchester United related, please, people. Run up the likes though, whether you're watching this live right now or watching this back after. Big up to all the people listening on the audio platforms as well. Run up the likes, hit the like button on the video. Make sure you share this across all the socials as well. At Sarcasm City TV on Twitter and Instagram. You see it right there. At Sarcasm City TV. Retweet, like from the Twitter, share from the Instagram, and just as important, make sure you subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell as well. Let me bring the ManDem into the building. Ivorian's in the cut, Eddie's in the cut. What you man telling me, man?
Free at last. God Almighty, we are free at last, man. So, yes, we is free. You know, let the shackles off my feet so I can dance.
Yeah, free, man. It feels great. It feels great. It feels great.
Yeah.
That we are
Big shout out.
That girlfriend that don't want to do nothing for you, giving you stress every single day, and the relationship is finally over. You go to your bedroom and you cry on their shoulder and say, "It's over, man. I'm free. Done. I'm free, bro. It's over.
It's over. I'm done." Facts. We are free.
Let me start this off by giving a huge shout out to the great goalkeeper that is Robert Sanchez. Couldn't have done it without you, my boy. You know. I always knew you had that type of class in you. For you to show it on the big stage, we appreciate. Yeah, man. Like we were talking about, shout out to Ivorian for the fire ass title.
Yes.
This was an Ivorian title, people. Manchester United still suffering despite the scrub being gone. So we'll start with you, Ivorian. I'm presuming it's about the Manchester United won, Chelsea won game. So yeah, man, thoughts on the game, what we seen, etc. It's been very mixed, and I'm sure a certain winger is gonna be talked about as well.
Yeah, it's mixed feelings because you know what, guys. Let's be real. The reason why I say it's mixed feelings, although we got a point from the game and dropped 2 points. If you think about it, if it was a certain someone else in charge, we will be pissed off because we would have lost that game because the players will not play for that guy.
Facts.
But reflecting back to the game where Manchester United scored a goal, but typical Manchester United, they never allowed us to even enjoy the penalty that we scored. Let that marinate, let that season before we get a little bit of to enjoy the taste of that goal. We didn't even got to do that. Typical United conceding a goal, 3, 4, 5 minutes later on in that game. Disgusting, man. It would have been nice for us to get the 3 points, but hey, we're no longer 14th, guys. We are 13th, so it is progress in my eye. To just for positivity, just for the power of positivity, you got to spin in it. But my God, there were certain players that you have to look upon and frown your eyes and raise your eyebrows. Starts with a G, ends with a cho. Just gotta say that,
It starts with a G.
The amount of opportunities this guy had, and just again, and I think I saw again, this was the same problem the previous week. The greediness of this guy, I know Argentinians love their steakhouse and they love eating meat a lot of times, but this guy wanted it all. He wanted the steak, the ribs, everything. And again, never converted these chances. And I have to shout out my guy Casemiro, because sometimes your seniors have to give you a bollock and a shouting to tell you what the hell did you just do, because he deserved that in that game. Big up to Mazzarari, innit? Like the real fullback that can probably play in the new manager system. I watched a video of pundits questioning which players do Manchester United have that can fit the fullback system. They just disacknowledged and thought that no one can play a fullback position or wing back position, my bad, if I should say, if we was to implement the 4-3-3 formation. And then they just ignored the fact that we have Mazraoui, who is a natural wing back, who can play wing back and full back. And of course, Dalot and Shaw as well can play that position. But big up to Mazraoui, he was superb, you know. Do you know what I have to say? It's the signing for us, because for 15 million euros, you know, excellent performances, a steady Eddie, you know, get me Eddie, bro. Just a steady Eddie, bro.
Sure.
So yeah,
sure.
I'm pleased. I'm pleased with his performance. I'm pleased with Casemiro's pass to find Højlund. But Højlund, Rashford, Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes again. Yo, they're making us suffer, man. They are making us suffer. You know, our best player, which is Bruno Fernandes and Rashford, they need to be spoken about. You know, if it has to be every week, it has to be, because they were poor and abysmal, especially Højlund with his finishing and Garnacho as well. But again, the positive I can take from this is that we never lost. We are 13th. And Ruud van Nistelrooy is still unbeaten. That's what I got to say.
Mm-hmm. Eddie, thoughts? And obviously we'll get into it more. And of course, Ruben Amorim, and talk about his 3-4-3/3-4-2-1. Big up to Jez in the cut as well. What are you saying, Eddie, man? Thoughts on the United Chelsea game? Well, I've seen mixed, very, very mixed from the fan base. But go on.
Again, let me start out by saying thank you, Robert Sanchez. You're quite the goalkeeper. Simply put, the group chat, man. The operation was a success, but the patient still died. You feel what I'm saying? Like, just I understood what I signed up for when Ten Hag was fired. The feeling of freedom, being able to breathe again, being able to see colors. You feel me? Like all the positivity came back into my life, except on that football pitch, what I was gonna see, because people structurally, this manager set us up to fail in the way that we are. So it's gonna take a new set of eyes to really show people how down bad we were. All of us were happy he was gone.
Absolutely.
But then we saw that game against Leicester, the front three. I think it was Zertsky. Who else?
Rashford, Garnacho.
And Garnacho, you're right.
Yeah, that was it.
Right?
I double checked, but I think that was the front three against Leicester.
So we knew there was a possibility.
Yeah, it was Rashford, Garnacho, Xerxes. Obviously, Bruno in the 10 against Leicester.
That the four horsemen of scrubs would show up again on that fateful Sunday. We knew what the production was going to be when we saw Bruno, Garnacho, Rashford, Højlund. We knew exactly what type of game we was in for.
Absolutely.
A disgusting brand of football that I don't even feel appropriate calling the football because of what they put on display. But to my surprise, they actually created more clear-cut chances than we usually have in the past.
Absolutely.
But not to my surprise was our inability to finish those chances. Wow. And we'll have the roast of Alejandro Rapinoe momentarily. I'll push back on his performance. But let me just say, professional performance by Mazraoui. I think he was our best player on the pitch. Every week, this brother shows us what he's really about and how just solid he is, man. De Ligt, another professional performance. Can't say too much about him. The goalkeeper, who sneakily has calmed me down a bit about him still being here. Gotta give it to Onana.
He actually played well in the game. He actually did.
For real. He didn't put the ball in harm's way a whole bunch of times. Didn't have too much to do, but when he did, I think he put himself good. He put a good foot forward. Licha, probably the best game I've seen from Licha in a little bit. I still, he's turned into a bit of a crash out dummy for me. Like, brother, why are you sliding all over the place? Why are you challenging? We all sat here and said that was a red for the tackle that he put on Palmer. Studs up, high on the leg. We thought it fit the textbook definition. They saw otherwise. Thank the Lord.
Yeah, it's a red
But
card.
we
It's a red card all day long.
Below, steady Eddie. Shout out to your boy.
Yes.
You know, steady Eddie. He did his thing. Midfield, Ugarte, Casemiro did their job. I don't think we will see a better pivot than Lavia and Caicedo.
I've
Chelsea,
been making.
congratulations.
I've
You
been. I've
got
been
you.
making. I've been making this point. Sorry to cut you off, but people want to just
No,
discredit that because it's United. But carry on, as you were. Go on, Eddie. Carry on.
no,
Carry on.
bro. I'm watching them. I'm watching Lavia on the ball. I'm like, this brother is too smooth. Too smooth. And then Caicedo went out there for he went to I don't know he went yeah no I know where he went he went to Wakanda for the tech he went to Wakanda for the
I
tech
said he went for
because
Wakanda
my
for the
boy is
tech.
moving out here like T'Challa flying. Then when the ball gets to feet, brother is accurate, man. So shout out to Chelsea for that. Cole Palmer, listen, man, we put them dogs on Cole Palmer, man.
He did.
It's not
He
his
did.
fault. It's not his fault. We had it. Yeah, let me pre-pause. We had him tossing and turning, bro. He couldn't figure out where he was at.
He woke up in cold sweats in the jail.
In cold sweats, brother, how we was flinching, nobody was there. Nobody threw a fake punch. He flinching out here. So shout out to us for that. Madueke, thank you for playing with us. You had that Manchester United underneath that. We always appreciate that shit. Nico Jackson, Nico, let me tell you something, man. When you look for the OnlyFans girls after the game. I know you might have saw 1 or 2 in OT, but don't let that distract you from what you're supposed to be doing on that pitch, brother. You was not around, so we don't know. I don't have anything to say about you. And then, yeah, I just think all in all, with the way we set up, you saw the best version of us. So I'll give credit to Ruth for that, right? We competed defensively. We were sound. With the ball at feet, it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, just a professional performance. I think this Chelsea, Chelsea United is gonna be a draw. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
Like
Apparently,
every time
he's got the record for the most draws between the
It's
two
the most
games.
drawn fixture in the Premier League. Yep.
they
It
got
is.
lucky, we should have smacked them up. We should have smacked them up here because that's usually what happens. Even when we were shit, we could still smack Chelsea up at OT. We couldn't get it done. Now we got to go to Stamford Bridge, get our point back, and just keep the season moving. But yeah, man, shout out to the squad. You didn't embarrass us. You didn't look crazy, and especially as I am, thank you, Robert Sanchez.
Out of all the games he had to play to be at his best, it's this game that he plays to be at his best.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Because honestly, bro, let's be real.
Go on, Eddie.
We weren't scoring without Robert Sanchez helping us.
Yeah.
Any
People
type
forget.
of way. It could
People forget how bad the touch was from Hoyland because we won the penalty. The touch was awful. Because the pass from Casemiro was on point, but the touch was awful, which actually dragged him wide. And if he doesn't score that, we're criticising him. But because he did the Ricky Boys in the Hood impression and got the penalty, we was like, you know what? All right, cool. And then Bruno obviously scored. But go on, Eddie. Carry on.
Yeah, it's like I'm just looking at the attack that we put out there, and I'm like, Rude, brother, you got 2 games. Do better. Do better.
Yeah.
We cannot be running out that 4. The 4 horsemen of scrubs.
Yeah, it's a
That's
bad
what I'm
form.
calling them. Because I can't pick. I mean, Bruno's probably the highest rated out of all those 4.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're being honest, they're all the same fucking level. Like they're all just not good enough. That's what we're trying to do. It was everybody. It was literally like you had, there's that one kid in school who used to always be in detention. Always be in detention. And then somehow, some way, on the random draw, he gets put into your group project. So we already know you ain't finna contribute on a goddamn thing. But we still get a B. We get a B. And you was along for the ride. But if we had a person who who could hold their own, we would have had an A.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
That's what I look like. That's when I see this Manchester United team. I see Casemiro running his ass off.
Mhm.
I see Mazraoui playing his ass off. I see Leaches sacrificing his body. Pause. I see Lit playing his ass off.
Yeah.
It's just that attack. And then to make it worse, we got Ahmad on the bench.
Mm-hmm. Trust.
Why
I
would
hear
you
you.
play the idiots together? That's what I still don't understand about this setup that we're tactically going for. Why?
Okay.
Why would we lose, man? I don't want to talk. I want to give everybody their chance. So.
Now we'll get to that. In regards to the game, big up to everyone in the chat. Just under 50 of you lot locked in now. Let's get up to 40 likes. Big up to Gamer TV being kind enough to drop some of the comments about Ruben and other things in the chat. I will start them. I'll get to them as well. Of course, I'll start the best questions. Want to make sure your question gets read out. People super chat, but I will start the best questions. In regards to, we'll start with the game itself. What I've been asking for from Manchester United is why I am not being so critical of the players, why I'm not being so critical of the team, is compete. That's all I've been asking for from this Manchester United side, is to go out there and compete. Forget the result. Forget win. We could have lost that game and I'd still have the same energy. Let's say Enzo scores late on. He scores that chance in the 75th minute and we lose the game 2-1. Would I be disappointed about the defeat? Of course I would. However, but because of where we are at, we are looking for the basics because we don't do that. That's what Rude has implemented. One, because he just added positivity. You can already see that players are just happier. Forget football for a second. Forget technical ability. Forget physical attributes. The players are just happier. Look at Ahmad getting on the pitch in these two games. Look at his smile. And then look at him when he got on the pitch against Fenerbahce. Players are expressing themselves more. Players are trying more things. We're actually going to try and score. There's some belief going forward. Eddie mentioned it there. Casemiro going around clamping people, as is Agate, as is Delit. Mazraoui's just, in terms of value for money, he's been the best signing this season. I don't think there's a better one. If there's a better £12 million signing in the league, somebody show them me. Please, I beg. And that's what we did against Chelsea. Bear in mind, Eddie mentioned it. I don't know why this Manchester United fans are scared to say this or can't admit this. Chelsea are a better team than us, people. If you didn't know that, I don't know what to tell you. Chelsea Football Club are a better team currently than Manchester United Football Club. It's not nice for me to say, but guess what? It's the facts. And if they come to Old Trafford and play at their very best, they win the game because they're better than us. However, they were poor. Is that on Chelsea? Yes. That's also on us, though. We have to give credit to Hoyle and Hive. If you don't understand why Chelsea are a better team than Manchester United, I have no idea what to tell you. I can't, some things I can't explain, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And that you gotta have that conversation with God. Pray to him and he'll tell you, I'm sorry. But man, hey, listen, but we move. Yeah. But as I was saying anyway, they're a better side than us. But we competed in the game. And that's where I'm at. We actually were competitive and should have won the match. We created the better opportunities. The Garnacho chance is the one that sticks out, and the one that fell to Bruno sticks out. The Rashford one was tough because it's a volley, but we know the limitations of our front four. But we've seen the best of the team in regards to defensively because we kept them quiet. Palmer, non-existent going forward. Yep. Madueke, word to Eddie, if it's NBA, guards himself. Jackson, we kept quiet. Neto was the brightest of the four, and we kept him quiet too. Bear in mind, to me, that's the best pivot in the league we just played. If there's a better pivot in the Premier League than Lavia and Caicedo, I have not seen it. And then you add Palmer in, that's the best midfield trio in the league. If there's a better one, I ain't seen it. Lavia, Caicedo, Palmer and we competed, and at times got the better of them. Mm-hmm. So that's what it is. In regards to people being critical of Rude, I hear it. Like Eddie mentioned it, as well I've heard others mentioned it in regards to the lineups. My thing is with Rude is, the reason why I'm not crashing on him, two reasons. One, I'm just glad Ten Hag's gone. Secondly, I am not holding Rude Van Nistelrooy to Amorim standards. I wasn't looking for Rude to come into here and change the lineup and change the tactics. Would I prefer him to? Absolutely. But this is the reason I didn't want Rude Van Nistelrooy as the permanent manager. Because I don't believe he's good enough or he's equipped. Like, he's a rental car. And people asking, why has it not got rims on it? Why has it not got tints? Why is the sound system not fire? It's a rental car, people. You're here literally, it's like going on holiday for 5 days or for 2 weeks and you need a rental car to get around. He's just here to do a job because if Amorim could be here for the Chelsea game, he would have been here. Rude would have not been in charge. Rude would have not been around. But you're just here as a substitute. I don't expect the same from the first team manager, the actual manager, as I do the substitute. Now, if this is Amorim, this is a whole different conversation. I'm expecting Amorim to make changes to the personnel. I'm expecting changes to the tactics. I'm expecting changes to the formation. I'm expecting him to get more from these players, even though I think they're limited. I've said this. We have a lot of average players. Get most of them playing average and get a few of them playing good. And then get our good players playing good. And guess what? We'll do all right. Because we've seen Reed do it. How come our midfield looks so much better?
Yeah.
He actually played Agate as a 6, Casemiro was an 8, and all of a sudden, the midfield looks functional. All of a sudden, Casemiro picks up the ball, and Agate's right there beside him to play a pass to. Agate picks up the ball. Casemiro's 5 yards away to pass him the ball. Guess what? Casemiro flies into a challenge, and he misses it. You know who's behind him to help him out? Agate. If Agate misses a tackle, guess who's next to Agate to help him out? Casemiro. And props to Agate for all the fouls he was making. I think that's really an underrated trait. If you can continue to make fouls and only get one booking and disrupt play, that's what you're there for. And this is what I've said about Agate when he was here. He shouldn't be the one on the ball the most, having the most touches, playing the most passes, progressing the ball. We know what it is. We fully know what it is. Of course, the Hoyland Hive says flawless with the midfield, we miss creativity. Of course. We all know that this midfield is not creative, but you have to work with what you have to work with what you've got. We know there's a lack of quality in the side. However, we played Casemiro next to Agate and it's functioning. And we've not had a functioning team. All season long, we've not had a functional unit. We had a functional midfield and a functional defense, and the attack was functioning to an extent, like Eddie mentioned. We created more than we expected. We created more than I expected. We just missed the chances because we know the limitations of these men. But like I said, we got the draw. We should have won. We should have won the game. But however, I'm not too upset about it. Beat PAOK in the Europa League. Beat Leicester. And then Amorim's here, and then he has 2 weeks to get himself set for the Ipswich game. And then that's when the real test comes. That's when we're going to find out. Because I think it's in his first 8-9 games, we play Arsenal away, City away, and Liverpool away. But there is other winnable outside of those three. There's winnable fixtures in that, so that's what I'm looking at. So that's why I'm not crashing on Rude too much. Like, you're the substitute. So that's pretty much my thoughts on it. But yeah, we'll go talk about a certain Alejandro Garnacho. Eddie, we'll go to you. Thoughts, because obviously we did the watch along together. So yeah, thoughts.
Where do I start? Mm-hmm. Listen, people, I don't think you should ever give up on yourself if Alejandro Garnacho is starting living for Manchester United. That in itself is a lesson that anything is possible. There are no limits on what you can do in this world. That was one of the worst performances I've ever seen from him. And that's saying a lot. Because he pulls some pretty crazy shit as a scrub on the daily, but there was something so distinct about that performance on Sunday that the entire world, my brother, saw you for who we know you to be. He's not fast. He's not strong. He's not shifty, meaning he doesn't have moves. He can't get you leaning one way and go the other. He's an average finisher. But in that moment on Sunday, there was a part where he was just a shit teammate. The one thing you don't do when you're on a team, it's one thing if you're struggling, right? But what you don't do is sabotage the team in the midst of your struggles. For you to lose possession of the ball and then jog.
That's crazy.
Knowing what point in time we're at in that match is unforgivable. And it shows to me personally, you a hoe. Because when it's going great, you right there. You right there, sitting on the stanchion with the boys, taking the shots with who was it, Ahmad and Hoyland, you big timing. Get shoot the flip. Shoot the flip with me and my boys, right? But when you ain't showing up, you pretty practically were a hindrance the entire game. Had multiple chances to put us up. And it's your time to hold your part of the rope, and you bitch out like that. Nah, family, we got one, ladies and gentlemen. We got one. I know a hoe when I see one. Because when that shit got tough, you left. They was splurging on you. Y'all was going to Nobu. Y'all was going to the steakhouses. He was wine and dining you. Then the money tapped out, and you on to the next man. That's whole life behavior, people. You let go of the rope when it got tough. So, to those who support him, they shall remain nameless. This is not a shot at you, okay? This is not a shot at you, but y'all must understand this. He's exactly who I thought he was, who Ivorian thought he was, and who Flawless thought he was. He's not who you think he is. He is not who you think he is. We are trying to help you see it. And hopefully a game like yesterday can make it clear as day to you that if Manchester United is serious about moving in the right direction, he cannot be a major part of that, no matter what his fucking age is. He's not good enough. He doesn't have the heart for it. At the end of the day, we can do better. So, shit. That's all I really need to say about him because I'd rather spend time talking about Lord knows what else, except for that performance on Sunday. That shit was atrocious, man. It really was. It was embarrassing, man. That's what I'm saying. Casemiro is how old?
Yo, Casemiro was
Casemiro
fuming.
got
That made me
kids.
laugh. I laughed, yo. That was funny, man. I'm sorry. I know it was a serious situation, but I laughed on the watch along, yo, the way Casemiro was cursing him out.
He should have. He should have. If there was no camera, he getting slapped up. He gets slapped up, or he getting the eagle lash. I call it the eagle lash where you know how you do. You grab him by the neck and just kind of bump the jersey a little bit. You gotta do it quick so you don't expect it. The eagle, it's right there. You just grab the jersey like this. You just put it, see that right there, right there. You just grab it right there. He can't go nowhere. Can't go nowhere. He should have done that. But this camera is your teammate. But yeah, man, he got choked up. So he can't be out here putting cats and do that shit. He got kids. I know he got a wife. I know he got mortgages, bro. Niggas is almost out of here. You got him booking it down the touchline to save your ass. Man, come on, dog. That was crazy. That was crazy, bro.
What you saying, Ivorian? Obviously,
Oh
Garnacho has
my god.
he's received a lot of criticism for that performance, and rightfully so. So yeah, your thoughts on it?
Rightfully so, rightfully so. And I hate to be that guy that criticizes young players, because it's you'll probably say it's not fair. He's young, he's still learning the game, but players need criticism regardless of age. Once you step into that senior side of the football team, you're a man, regardless of your age. So you should get criticized regardless. So back to Garnacho's performance, he's been underperforming for a while, in my personal opinion. He hasn't been to his best, and we're not going to see that for a while. The questions could be because are you comfortable because you don't have a direct competition? The fact that the manager doesn't take you off the squad and puts Ahmed and gives him the opportunity, because we saw Ahmed play. We see the contribution he gives to the team, the creativeness and the good decision making he brings into the game. But with Garnacho recently, we haven't seen much of him. His decision making is just as poor as his friend Marcus Rashford, just as poor as Bruno Fernandes. And it's really hard for us Manchester United fans to enjoy this football when you have three dumb and dummers, plus another dumber, making stupid mistakes and making stupid decisions. And it's again, I feel like this guy is comfortable. And this guy is comfortable that he cannot be dropped. You need to drop him. He needs some direction as well. We all said this before. I think a season ago, when we said to ourselves, if we want to be serious, just like Eddie said, Garnacho's not a starting player. He's someone that will come on because of tired legs and take on the player and drain that absolutely life of that player and then eventually score a goal or capitalize on the situation. He hasn't been to his best and he's been poor and he's not developing anymore. And that needs to be looked at as well. And the fact that you are dropping him, I mean, you are playing him and you're dropping Ahmad, which I think Ahmad deserves a fair shot. You're supposed to be playing, in my opinion, you're supposed to be playing either Marcus Rashford or Garnacho. You can't not have two direct wingers who only play direct, like Eddie says, see ball, kick ball, chase ball, and do nothing else but that. Nothing else but that. You need that level of creativity. You need someone who's direct and someone who can play that inside forward, who's much more creative, who controls and creates opportunities as a winger, because then you have balance. If you continue to stick and persist with Dumb and Dumber, Ed and Eddie as well, which is, of course, Bruno, Rashford, and Garnacho.
Yeah. I'll allow it.
You won't progress at all. Like our football needs clever, intelligent players, and Garnacho's been terrible, man. That game against Chelsea is one of the ones that you can highlight the most. The amount of opportunities he had, and the greediness from that player as well. And who the fuck who do you think you are? No. I know you're 19, but who do you think you are? Just because last season you scored a winning goal in the FA Cup final, you scored some couple of winning goals, all of a sudden you think you're the man. You're not the man. You are not the man. Someone needs to humble him. And please, Ruben, I beg you, once you step into that, to grab him by the scruff of the neck and says, you are not the man. You still got the L plate on the back of your jersey and still learning this game. You need to start doing what we tell you to do, because to me, I feel like he's doing whatever he wants. That's typical Manchester United squad. Most of our forwards do whatever they want. They don't follow instructions. I don't know. But yeah, man. Garnacho, I think he needs to get dropped. But then again, the other guy, the other side needs to get dropped as well. So it's a bit of a headache, Flawless.
Because here's a headache, and that's one thing. Good thing, obviously, we'll talk about Ruben Amorim with the 3-4-3/3-4-2-1. That we don't see either of these two playing actual wings, playing on either wing, whether it's left wing or right wing, because he doesn't play wingers. It's 2 10s and a striker. So I absolutely love that, because these lot are not good, and these lot are not good enough, and we know that. We know that, and Eddie mentioned it. This is no surprise. I said this yesterday when I was talking with Rants in regards to anyone who's watched Garnacho is not shocked by his performance or not surprised. That doesn't mean you don't critique it. What it is that normally, if he put that performance in, let's say we played 3 p.m. at home to Brentford or Nottingham Forest, for example, and it wasn't on TV and there's other games going on, or other teams were playing at the same time as us, like a Spurs or a Chelsea, Liverpool, whoever else. It's not being spoken about enough. No, it's not getting spoken about as much. Garnacho's been playing this way. He isn't good enough. Now, this was a poor performance even for him. Like, this is one of the worst times I've seen him, but his better performances are much better than this. He shouldn't be starting week in, week out. He's best off the bench. Even this season, that's when we've seen the best of him. Is he supremely limited? Yes, I've said this. He has no bag, he has good acceleration, and that is it. That's all he has. He has good acceleration. He has a rational confidence that he'll try things. And if you try enough things, just law of averages, it's going to come off with goals and assists. Bruno does the same thing. So it's like he's not good enough. That's why this whole conversation about him is crazy. It's like we all know Garnacho's not good enough. Even if, let's say Amorim was playing 4-2-3-1. Let's say that was Amorim's formation. I'd still want Garnacho and Rashford replaced. We still need 2 wingers, in my opinion. If that was the case. Now it's going to be wing-backs. Guess what? I still think we need 2 wing-backs. I don't know where Garnacho and Rashford fit in Amorim's system, and we'll get to that in a second. But he isn't good enough. Simple as that. I think we've seen enough. Kevin mentioned in the chat about the age excuse. He's coming up to close to 100 appearances for the club. You get a gauge of where somebody's at. You have an idea. Now, players can improve. Players can drop off. But over 100 appearances, we now have a big enough sample size to go, all right, this is kind of your level. He's just limited. I don't know why people can't accept that he's just limited and not good enough for Manchester United Football Club. And I say this all the time. If he was playing this way for another Big Six side, our fan base would not be talking about going to sign Garnacho. That's how I look at it. If he was at Chelsea, if he was at Spurs, if he was at Arsenal, if he was at City, if he was at Liverpool, and was playing like this, there would be zero conversation from Manchester United fans about going to sign Garnacho. But because He's in the Manchester United kit, and people see this badge, they get blinded by it and think players are better than they are. He's a limited winger, people. And guess what? That's okay. Does that mean I think he should leave the game? No. Can he play professional football at a lower level somewhere else? Absolutely. But that's most of this squad. I'll rate most of these players, to be honest, if we're being really real, but we're talking solely about Garnacho. This is nothing new. It's just that people are now opening their eyes to it. One, because they haven't watched him like that. And two, a lot of people lie to themselves. Because I feel like we've had this conversation about Rashford. We've had this conversation on this. Eddie will remember this better than anyone, Eddie. Remember the conversations we used to have in here about Bruno? Remember those times? Exactly. Look at your face. Remember, fam. Remember the genuine conversations we used to have on here with the chat about Bruno and him being world class and top class, and that died. But Bruno's playing no different now to how he was playing back then. It's just that he got more goals and assists, and this is now the same with Garnacho. Garnacho's been playing this way. It's not like Garnacho was at a high level and then he's dropped off in the past 6 to 12 months. Go back and check ManDem United's people. There's a playlist of it, of us talking about Garnacho being limited. Even the clip Rant showed on his channel yesterday, and it was me, Saeed, Aaron, and Rants. And one of the first things I said in the clip was, we know he's limited. And I think that was a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. I don't know how long ago. Right, watch him play. Look at his attributes, people. He has no outstanding physical attributes like Eddie mentioned in regards to agility, balance. He has good acceleration. You don't have top sprint speed. The strength isn't there. You got good stamina. You can run up and down. Technically, you don't.
He's dribbling.
Oh yeah, that's what's gonna get to the technical side of things. You don't excel at anything. Dribbling, first touch, shooting, passing, and then the mental attributes ain't there in regards to decision making, making runs. Even though you're a willing runner, your runs are not the best. Positioning, work rate. Like working with your teammate, like there's nothing there like that. Anticipation, aggression. You don't have any mental attributes that you excel at. So you know what you have when you have a player that don't really excel at anything apart from acceleration, a limited player. He was on Football Manager, people. Everything's just 14s and below across all three.
This is what kills me, right? Because I say it all the time. I can deal with tryhards, right? Because the thing about a tryhard is, from minute 1 to minute 90, he will be engaged. He will be locked in. I can deal with mistakes. What I can't deal with is people who tap out. There's way too many times throughout the course of a match, if something doesn't go his way, he's so demonstrative in the fact of how it's affecting him. And that shows itself on the pitch. Like, you can't have emotionally unstable people, because the instability equals an inconsistency when it comes to the playing on the pitch. If mentally you can be checked out at any point in time during a match, I can't trust you. Because it only takes 1 second for this team to punish it. For this team to start a chain of events that leads to them scoring a goal. How many times have we been mad at Marcus Rashford for not tracking back, and then his not tracking back led to a goal? How many times have we looked at Bruno Fernandes bitching and complaining to the ref? Meanwhile, the ball's in play going to the other side of the pitch. It fits a narrative of this team that there are a lot of men in this team who mentally are not ready for the highest level of football. You can do that bullshit when nobody's watching you play at Southampton, at West Ham. You can do all that shit, but when we're talking 8 p.m. your time, international TV, game of the week in the United States, game of the week in fucking Mumbai, game of the week in Kenya,
all the continents.
The village, they watching you fuck up. I've been there. I've seen it on the small TV. They got it. They see you in it's like 480p, but they still see you.
They see you.
They see you, bro.
But they see you.
They see you. That's how you gonna represent us. Now, give me some dogs. Give me some dogs. I don't like Saka as a football player, but I understand what he's going to do 100% of the time he steps on there. Byline to byline, he's going to compete.
Yeah.
If he loses the ball, he's gonna do his hardest to get it back. If he gets kicked, he'll get back up.
Yeah.
There's a mentality with soccer that we have to give him credit for. The rest of the football and shit, I mean, again, he's not my cup of tea. But
Got you.
from a mentality standpoint, I can see from him if you put that in a player with a lot of technical ability, it would be like unbelievable, right? That's I
Yeah.
think honestly, it's like we talk about age.
Yeah.
Jamal, Jamal had a country on his fucking back. He had the future of Barcelona on his back. If anybody has any reason to crumble, it should be him. What are we seeing now? Barcelona is 9 points ahead of Real Madrid, and a
Facts.
big part of that's because of him and how he approaches the game. That's how young talent approaches the game. And I'm not saying that just because he get talent wise he's there, but you can see from a mentality
Mm.
he's different. I'd have no problem with Garnacho if his mentality was different and he still played like a scrub because I'd understand what he is. What I
Yeah.
can't deal with is this shit of you quitting a split second. Not for the game, but for a split second you tapped out. That shit lets me know a whole bunch about you. That's what I'm on.
Nah, that's fair. That's fair. And big up to Mike for the super chat. Hey, Mike, good to see you, man. And I appreciate the super chat. Thank you, for real. He says, I'm here to apologize, Flawless. I was wrong about that bald fraud, but F these players as well. Big up. Appreciate it. It's all right, man. He's gone now, so Mike is cool. I ain't going to hold it against you or anything like that. I'm with you on F these players as well. Trust me.
You know when man's really sorry when he
get away
sends a
with it.
super chat and pays to apologize.
Yeah, man.
So
Shout
he
out
knows
to
he's
Mike.
really sorry.
Because he's generous enough to drop super chats on a regular, but big up my guy, Mike. Mike, good to see you, man. We are
Mike.
free. So shouts to Mike, man. Shouts to Mike. Every single time. It is. And big up to Don C as well. Big up, fam. He says big up Flawless Panel and the chat. Big up each and every time as well. And to Freedom asking about, are you guys going to watch your new coach in the sporting game tonight?
I'm gonna pay
Ivorian is going to. I'm not. I'm going to watch it. I'm doing the Real Madrid AC Milan game, people. I was saying, I'll see Amorim. I'll see Amorim when he gets here. Yeah.
Very much, boy.
I'm gonna do my studying in it. I'm gonna go and watch
Yeah,
it
see,
on
these
YouTube
are
and see.
studying. You know what? I'm gonna see Amorim when he gets here, people. Because if he wins that game, it's gonna be Amorim's the guy. You know what I'm saying? If he
Yeah.
loses that game, it's gonna be United got a scrub of a coach. But hopefully he wins it because it's fuck City anyway. So hopefully he wins the match. I'm with that. So now I'm not, but Eddie and Ivorian are. They're watching. But I'm sure my chat will keep me posted. On the playback, people, like I said, Real Madrid, AC Milan, that's the game I'm doing. Rohan says, I hope Ruben is actually a good coach. I think he is. Yeah, the players are rubbish. But he needs to coach and get more out of these players. That's where I'm at with it. And speaking of, actually, yeah, we spoke about Garnacho already. And this is from Gamer TV. This is earlier. Ruben Amorim's playing style and a 3-4. His playing style is a 3-4-3 system. That's from Alex_Crook at Talksport. What are you saying about this, Ivorian? Because you did mention it slightly earlier. The back three. Who do you see thriving? Who do you see falling by the wayside? Do you think there's any surprises in regards to where he plays certain players? Because people have mentioned it. Who plays wing back? Who plays in the 2-10s behind the strikers? Who plays in the pivot in front of the front three? Thoughts?
My opinion, I'm looking at that system. I'm thinking the three centre backs that will be playing in that defense. Definitely, it's going to be Matthias De Ligt, and we've got Martinez. And if Lenny Euro can return back into full fitness, and once he gets back into that match fitness as well, I can see him making a statement as the third defensive option in that in the 3-4-3 formation. It's definitely, I do not want to see Maguire in there. You know, there ain't no way and how we're gonna somehow try and find a way to implement to fit in Maguire in the three, because it's just disastrous. It's about who's going to be playing in this as the centre back, on the left side is centre back, and the right side is centre back. I feel like De Ligt's more accustomed to playing in the middles, to have control and to lead the defense backline and organize the backline, with Martinez on the left and Lenny Euro on the right centre back. I feel like Mazraoui can thrive in that fullback and that wing back position, and of course the double pivot. Looking at Ruben Amorim, he likes to play defensive players in the two as in the four, which will probably be someone like probably Ugarte and Casemiro.
He's managed Ugarte before.
Kobe Mainoo as well. The one thing I'm struggling to figure out is I feel like Rashford and Garnacho are the ones that could potentially be a problem because you saw he plays 3-4-3, 2 10s and 1 striker. Where is Bruno playing? Of course, that's his guy. Former Sporting player. So he probably play him. I'm not too sure if he managed Bruno, but I think he's been there for 4 seasons.
Yeah, I don't think
and
he
Sporting,
Bruno
I don't
was
think he did. And I know once Bruno left, Sporting started to win the league. That's what I know about Bruno Fernandes. When he left, they started winning.
He got there
league.
a month after Bruno left.
Yeah. So in that midfield, I think Bruno will probably play in that 10 position. It's all about who else would he decide to play. I think that second position in the 2 10s is probably up for debate, whether he can convert Rashford or Garnacho to support the striker, maybe play Xerxes in a 10 position with Hoyland. Yeah, but I see Ugarte thriving. I see Mazraoui thriving. Dalot can potentially thrive because, of course, he's a wing back as well and / fullback. But the other players, such as Harry Maguire, yeah, you're in trouble again. Luke Shaw, I hope he looks at that guy and says, you know what, you're never fit. Like, you need to find a new club. Although Luke Shaw can potentially have a good opportunity to play that the left-sided wing-back position and probably do a job. But yeah, that's what I see. Those who are suffering are the ones who play naturally in the wing. Ahmed can play in that number 10 position. Absolutely. That's natural to him. So I hope I can see Bruno Fernandes and Ahmed. Respectfully, I don't want to see Bruno in the number 10 position, but we have to accept that Bruno is probably one of our best players in that. And in that position, he probably is the best player that we have because it's not going to be Mason Mount. And he's probably the one that can produce the most numbers. And I'm sure he's probably going to tell him to, you can do what you do at a high line. I just don't want you in the midfield doing your nonsense shenanigans and spamming balls and giving the ball away several times and putting us in a defensive situation where we have to run back and track back and concede a goal. So yeah, that's how I see it with the 3-4-3 formation. If you want to ask me my opinion of the hiring of Ruben Amorim, we can talk about that after Eddie has his.
Oh yeah, we will do because we've not actually spoke about that. Yeah, we do. Obviously, I've spoke to Eddie on that. Now we'll get to the hiring of Ruben Amorim. But yeah, Eddie, I know you've mentioned this, so it won't be as long as Ivorian's explanation of it. But the 3-4-3 system. Who do you see thriving in the system? Do you see any surprises in regards to? All right, maybe try such and such there, and any players falling by the wayside. Jez has mentioned it here about I keep saying if Garnacho and Rashford want to play, it has to be wing backs. I'm being real. These wing backs have to be aggressive going forward. I agree with you, Jez. I don't think Rashford or Garnacho can play in the 10 roles. Rashford maybe as a 9, but other than that, that's it. I think they're on wing back duty to me. Well, hey, that's just me.
I think we know who's that list at the wing back position, and that would be the left-footed Brazilian demon known as
Hey, that's a shout, though. That's a shout.
This guy, yo, that's the left-footed Brazilian demon at wing back, yo. Oh Lord have mercy, yo. Anthony at wing back, Lord.
It's a shout, though.
Yeah. The fact that it's a shout is the problem, Ivorian.
Yeah,
that is the problem. That is actually a shout. Hey, Malacia, get back fit, man. Malacia.
So I think, honestly, the ones who would benefit the most from this whole setup, I think it's going to be defense. Just because, our defense, bruh, they've been saving lives like the Red Cross since, I don't know, the beginning of time. Like, if our defense hadn't been what it was, a lot of these scorelines would be way worse. Even from the De Gea days, the amount of saves that De Gea used to make,
True.
you feel me, and 1-0s we used to get away with. So I think the defense will benefit. With regards to the midfield, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I just can't see Bruno not being there strictly for the fact of his energy, and he's willing to play a pass, an advancing pass, right? So I think any coach will see something like that and figure out ways in which not to make him harm us at the same time. The wing back situation is tricky because I'm going to just be honest. I don't care who you put out there. it's still not good enough for me. So I
Absolutely.
think Amorim is going to have to get 2 new wing backs,
Agreed.
and they're going to have to be on some real deal athletic types of shit for this league, right? Like it's all good to have Tech, but the way I see his system and what the way Jets has been speaking about his wing backs, you have to be able to get up and down at a consistent rate.
You got corner flag to
And
corner flag.
corner flag to corner flag really gives the defenders something to think about, right? I think I've already got to disagree. I think Luke Shaw would be a backup left center back. I can't see him playing the wing back position in this situation because of his limitations physically. And I just don't think if you're a real manager, you put a player who you can't depend on in your starting 11. We can't depend on Luke Shaw.
That's
So
true.
the guys who will, I think, make the cut will be the defense will be the same. I think you'll have DeLitt before him because I think they said that Euro is going to be back when Amarin
Yeah.
comes in.
Yeah, I think it's Euro training. That's what it's a swear he's training. by
Let me
himself.
see. I saw a picture,
I
but I'm
think
not too
so.
sure if he's gone. If he
Basically, he's on grass, which is good.
That's good.
Yeah,
So
basically
I
he's on
think,
grass.
and I think if it's not Euro, who else you can play? I think honestly you'll have no choice but to play Linda Soft at right center back.
You know, it's crazy. I don't
And
mind him as much as I don't rate him. I don't mind him too. Put it this way, I prefer him in a back three than I do a back two, than a back four.
absolutely,
Sorry. Yeah. I don't
absolutely.
mind him. And one thing he can do from right-sided centre back is progress the ball. That's the only thing I will say. He can do that.
He wasn't that bad in midfield against Chelsea. I know it's for like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
but you know, what I mean, that's not been Lindelof's problem has been the defending. You know, him on the
Yes.
ball, he's always been confident. But imagine a defender who can't defend. But we'll leave that there. Um, Midfield, Casemiro, Ugarte, Bruno,
This is what we want to see, guys. That is the three at the
Look
back.
at the graphic. Look at the
The
graphic.
graphics on that. Three at the back. Martinez, DeLitt, and Euro.
That's what we need. That's what we need. And so, yeah, just to finish up, the defense will benefit the most. Attacking, there's no saving them. You cannot save them. Ruben, I'm talking to you. When you see this video, because I know you watch this religiously, and the Sarcasm City subscribe, Ruben, don't save these dudes.
Thanks.
They will drown you. Oh boy, what's the shit called? The Titanic.
Yeah.
Don't be like Jack.
Don't be like Jack.
Don't be a hero.
Jack.
Get your own piece of wood, stand on that bitch, and make sure you don't drown in cold water. I'm telling you, brother, you cannot save these dudes, man. Sell them, bench them, whatever the fuck. I don't care. Make
Yeah.
sure when that 2025, 26 season comes around, you got wing backs that you fuck with. Now, the striker and the 10s, you got to figure that shit out too.
Yep.
You got Ahmad, you got Zersky. Hoyland had 70 million spent on him. I don't think he's going anywhere. And so yeah, but the wing backs, the wingers, nah. Except for Frost's favorite, Anthony. You
Yeah,
keep
Anthony,
him.
yeah.
You get rid of the. You get rid of the rest. You get rid of the rest.
But I'm the bad guy, people. This guy, yo. And big up to Mike, man. He says Maserati would be cold at right centre back. Big up for the super chat, Mike. I appreciate it. I think that I thought about this, Mike. Actually, great minds think alike. Because I thought of this not permanently, but put it this way: I think we just spoke about Lindelof. I think Maserati can do the same job Lindelof can do. And actually, I scratched that. I think he can do a better job at right side. Yeah, a better job. I think he's as good on the ball, and he's also better defensively. And he's comfortable. Okay. He's more comfortable than Lindelof going out into a right back area to defend because he is a fullback. Wing back, like Jez has mentioned, I'm not writing him off in regards to playing wing back and going forward. I just need to see more. But because we've played under the last guy, we haven't seen what you're capable of. I've not seen him high up the pitch on a consistent basis getting on the ball. Maybe he's got more to his game. Delo, I think, can do a job playing right wing back or left wing back. But I agree. We need two more. We need two wing backs. If we don't have two new wing backs, come the start of the 2025-26 season, I'll be very, very, very disappointed. I'll be very, very disappointed about the wing-backs if they're not new, because as much as I've spoken about relying on systems, which Amorim has to implement and getting the most out of it, I don't want to be in the Spurs situation where it's like, all right, we're creating a lot, and yes, we're scoring goals, but we're still frustrated because of the lack of quality and the chances we're missing. I want both. I want the system to enable the players and the team to create a lot of chances and score, but the players are able to take advantage of that too. So the quality's there and the system's there. And yeah, Tariq, I know it's the inside 10s as well. We definitely need an inside. We definitely need a 10. I want to see preferably 2, but we definitely need 1 10 to come through the door. I'm tired of these attackers. Eddie said it there. There's no saving these, man. Go get 2 wing backs. Go get a 10. Go get a striker. If we don't get those 4 positions, I will be extremely disappointed. And starters, not potential. Like, they can have potential, they can be 12, but they're of a certain quality now to start. We need someone who's clearly better right now than Xerxes and Højlund to play that 9. We need 2 wing-backs who are clearly better right now than Mazarari, Dalot, Malacia, the Brazilian left-footed demon, as Eddie kindly put it, whoever the case may be. I want certified, like, for instance, might have mentioned Alphonso Davies in the chat. Do I believe we signed Alphonso Davies on a free? No, but that's a statement of intent. Or if we go get 8 Nori from Wolves, for example. Or the guy from Lecce, Jez is going on about. His name's lost me right now. But there's a Danish don who plays at Lecce, who Jez has been waxing lyrical about. And he's saying, I think he could, that's it, Patrick Dorgu, him. Who he's saying could be better than Adogi, and he's saying Dedic at Salzburg. And the right wing back, I don't know any right wing backs, but we look at it and go, that's a sign, and he starts. Same with the 10. Now, do I believe Bruno plays? Probably. But one thing about having 2 10s in the system is it's less burden on Bruno to create, because we have another 10 there. Go get another 10. I'm not saying we go and sign Wirtz, but a Wirtz type. Go and find Wirtz for half the money. Go find someone who's close to his quality for half the money. Let's say Wirtz was 80 million. Hey, guess what? Go find one who's 40 million, who's close to his level and can get there, who's a certified starter. Same with strikers as well. Go get, and that's not tough. I'm sorry. It's not tough to go get somebody who's better than Xerxes and Højlund, sorry. And I'm not writing off Xerxes because he's only just got here. Højlund, I'm not with people. So that's how I'm looking at it. Yeah, Tariq, like a Kudus. I'm not saying go get Kudus, but if we was, again, that's a statement of intent. Eze. They're players who you go, oh, you start straight away. Even though I don't even want us to go get Kudus and Eze. I want us to go sign players for half the price who are just as good. Because there's players out there that are like that. In regards to the defence, it pretty much picks itself. We mentioned Yoro can play right-sided centre-back. Lindelof can play there. Mazarari, I think emergency can play there. Centre-back as well. You've got Delit who can play there. Maguire who can play there. Johnny Evans, if he's still here, can play there. It's only the left-sided centre-back. Whereas I don't want Shaw here. Move on Shaw, and then you go and sign another left-sided centre-back. Because you just can't rely on Shaw.
10 years of
so
nothing.
that's what it is. And to Madison, who says, please don't play Garnacho or Rashford as wing-backs. I think he'll have to for maybe. Like, here the thing is a difference between now to the end of the season to what I expect from him going on. Get the most out of these players.
Yeah, I look at the way Conte set it up, Chelsea, when he was doing the 3-4-3. He had to convert, was it Victor Moses into a wing back, and he had a natural sided defender who was playing the full back just to give the balance, So we may have to revert to having a Mazarari playing right wing back and maybe a Garnacho or Rashford to play left wing back for that attacking side of the game, so you can have at least some balance, because you don't want a midfield full of 4 defensive-minded players. Because where is the ball control creativity going to come out from? Because your 2 double pivot will be chasing the ball, hounding it, pressing, making things harder for suffocating them and getting the ball back. But those full backs will be key to the way we play football in terms of how we stretch teams out and open them. So it would be ideal to have one fullback who is attacking minded, who probably is a former winger, who can give that balance, where the other one is actually a defensive minded fullback who can also aid in attack. And you're looking at Mazarari just to give balance. That's all down to Amorim to figure it out. But I'm not professional, but I'm just gonna let him know if he's listening.
Yeah, I like that's the thing is I think it's also who we play, because you mentioned it there about having a defensive wing back and an attacking wing back, which makes sense. We're playing at home to Southampton, 2 attacking wing backs.
Yeah,
you're away at Anfield, more likely to have 2 defensive wing backs, and that's what you need to have is different. You have different styles for different fights. You need to have different tricks and different bags to
Because
whoever you're playing against. Yeah, go on.
was tactically flawless. If you think about it, if playing the 3-4-3 formation can easily turn into a 4-3-3 once you play a defense, once you've when you're defending. So, for example, if he was to be playing Rashford as the left wing back, Martinez can slot into the left back position while you have Euro and Delite in the centre back, and then Mazraoui just drops back into a right back. Just to change formations as the game goes on in 90 minutes. Because I know the system will change in the 90 minutes, depending on what the phase, what's going on in terms of score lines and transitions and etc. And defensive transition, offensive transitions. So that's why I say it will makes more sense if you play that attacking, that former winger that used to be, the player that was a winger as a fullback, and the right back who actually is a right back as a fullback, just so we have variety in our phases as well.
No, I hear that. I'm big up to Rohan.
There, I think the right wing back's name is Quendia. I think that's not what his name is. The activity that this brother plays.
Who's he play for, Eddie?
Sporting. He's on Sporting right now.
Sporting.
I think
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm just doing my research now.
Bro, just is attack. But he's an active player. He's lively. He's all over the place. He's very quick. He's very fast. So I think when looking at it,
right, 17. Mad.
Quendia, brother.
Yeah. He's 7. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, he's 17. One second.
He got dreads. Dreads.
Yeah. One second.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, people. You don't gotta say age about him. You don't gotta say age about him. But you have to say that about Garnacho. Make it make sense. So again, if you can wear the shirt, you wear the shirt because they think you can actually do something out there. It's not a charity case. But with Garnacho, it looks like a charity case. That's another conversation. But,
they're saying he was a right wing back despite being a right winger. Okay, first.
Right winger. You see what I'm saying? Like, he gets up and down. And I'm not saying he's good, but I just think that's the profile that Amorim goes for in those kinds of positions. And then I think one of their 10s, if you haven't told people I've been watching, is Trincao. And he's a player that I've seen. He really gets in the pockets, and that's where he does his damage. Technically, he's pretty sound. From what I've seen, again, he gets a lot of opportunity to score goals, make assists happen. So just for the bits and pieces I've seen, and who we have in our team right now who can kind of fill those positions, I think the wingback situation has to be completely new because I don't think Garnacho or Rashford run as hard as that brother Quendia does. And in the 10, I think the only players who fit Trincao's kind of role would be at Ahmad.
Maybe.
I don't even think of Bruno because Bruno likes to operate in space. I think Kobe, because we've seen Kobe operate in tight spaces. I think he can do something in that system. So yeah, we know who the haves and the have-nots, like who's got it and who doesn't. We know exactly who that is, And I like what I've seen from him thus far as a manager, but like you said, like I said, like Amorim said, this team as currently constructed, we should not have any expectations of them to hit the ground running in his first season. Our expectations should start after the first day of the season is done. And just to finish up, because I do think it's important that even I say this. Now that they have their manager, have some of their players, the Ineos grace period, I wipe my hands with it.
First.
You've been consistent. I've been kind of on the side that, you know
Yeah.
what, let me just see what the
Let's
end
see.
result is. But now that I see what the end results are, I have
Mm.
very, 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 very high expectations for
That's
you
it.
to at least show us, you know, what you're doing. You've talked about the recruitment has to be up to par. It doesn't have to be we spent 80 million on this player, 80
Facts.
million on that player. He doesn't fit what Amarin wants. That's what we've been doing for years.
Yeah.
If he's a good player, then it gets to okay, we bring that good player in because he fits the system. Then Amarim skill as his structure makes him an even better player. That's what all these clubs are doing. We've seen ends with Spurs. You are getting away with this with Brennan Johnson, fucking
Timo Werner.
Timo Werner, chicken face boy from Brazil,
Richarlison.
Richarlison, and then has Son been playing?
Yeah, Son's
Has Son
played. Yeah. Son's played. Yeah, Son's been playing this season. Yeah. Son's been playing.
playing? That Aston Villa team was pathetic before he showed up.
Facts.
Now he has them balling out of his skin. Brighton, same thing.
Yeah.
Motherfucking Nuno had 9 and 4. People,
Forest is third, isn't it?
Forest is third in the league, and they were fighting relegation with Cooper. This idea that Perky's calling Cooper, I love him, but you know we gotta hate. That boy got to piss in a cup before every game just to make sure he really not on that. I mean, telling you, he be looking high as hell. I don't care for no one telling me. Cooper looking high as hell. I've seen some of my boys after a couple raves. He had the same eyes. That's all I'm saying. We're gonna leave that right there. Okay, but I will say a lot of this shit is gonna fall on Eddie Olsen for good reason because you can make the argument if this was your man's, what took you so long? So we gonna see. If y'all said y'all was talking to him in the summer,
Mm-hmm.
if that's what they say, you already knew this was your man's. What took you so long? That's all. If they answer that question truthfully, then I'll say I'll take their what they say and move on. But if we get selected to win as to why this shit took so long, then I got a problem.
I think to answer your question, Eddie, is that reading from what I've been looking at. Obviously, they spoke to him last season. Amorim wanted to do one more season with Sporting. He said that during his press conference, he said that this was meant to be his last season at Sporting and then move on. So, again, like he asked for Manchester United, can he wait until the end of the season? They said, it's now or never, big man. If you don't take this now, you ain't going to be hearing from us later. So he wanted to do his final season at Sporting before he decided to leave. So, yeah, just to answer your question, I think that's what the situation is. What took them so long? They probably said, you know what, let's give the scrub one chance. But if anyhow he messes up,
and that's the problem right there, man.
Yeah.
I keep saying this. I don't give people credit for putting out fires that they started. But hey, yo, we moved. But I'm glad we got Amorim. I'm happy about that.
and you
That's
know what,
where
guys? Let's
I
be
can
grateful
fair.
because we know Manchester United usually write a season off. The season ain't done. We still got 28
salvageable.
games left. This is the
games
first time
still
we're acting like a proper football club. Early November, we was even saying maybe by Christmas it'd be gone, or maybe January. But early November, they've said let's pull the plug right now and try and save our season. So we kind of can, from that, I say they're quite serious in the project and the vision that they have the club and what they want to do. Yeah, because usually we know Manchester United will make sure that it's mathematically impossible to qualify for the Champions League before they sack the manager. We know that history tells us that. Until it's mathematically impossible, that's when they decide to sack them. But right now, 28 games left. We're still in the Carabao Cup. We're still in the Europa League. We still got FA Cup. We can salvage the season. So I'm happy about that.
And big up to Rohan 89 for the super chat. Appreciate it. He says we have bare dusty scrubs, need bare new players. Of course, this goes without saying. But whoever the manager was coming in, and big up for the super chat. I appreciate it. We would need new players, no matter who the manager was, no matter what the system was. We need new players. However, what I'm looking for Amorim to do from now till the end of the season, well, once he gets here from the end of the season, is implement your system and get the most out of what you have. If you're as good as I think you are, if you're as good as the general consensus says, manage. Eddie just mentioned it. I keep using Aston Villa and Unai Emery as the prime example. Gerrard had that team. They were battling relegation. Nobody said anywhere that side was a Europa League team. That side can finish in the top 7. The conversation was, Gerrard's a bad manager. These players are championship level. If they carry on this way, they're gonna get relegated. He was brought in, signed the left back, and they went from 17th to 7th. So what I'm looking for Amorim to do, you have to be. If you're not a better coach than Emery, or if you're not a better coach than Emery, you're gonna fail here. And that's no disrespect to Emery, because I rate Emery. But Emery's a B-level coach. We are looking for an A-level coach because we're looking for A-level results. We're looking to go and compete for the A trophies, which is the Champions League and Premier League. So if Amorim's anywhere near the level, or if he's close to the level or of the level or above the level we think he is, he'll get more out of this team. As much as I don't rate these players, and I've been critical of these players heavily, get the most out of him. We've seen how are Spurs the top goal scorers in the league.
Huh?
Spurs are the top goal scorers in the Premier League currently right now. They've scored the most goals. Look at the shock on Ivorian's face.
Wow.
The top goals. That man have Richarlison, Werner, Brennan Johnson, Solanke, and Maddison out of form. Son's good, but like that's it. So if Big Ange can do that with that Spurs team, and he's supposed to be better than Big Ange, because that's the general consensus, you're a better manager than him. Guess what? You can get more out of these players. How have Brentford scored one less goal than Liverpool? How have Brentford scored 18 league goals already this season? And yes, I rate Visa and Embremo to an extent, but how have they scored one less goal than the team that's been the best team in the country so far? How's Chris Wood the joint second or third highest goal scorer in the league? How are Forest third?
No.
All of these things.
Nunes, who did they underplayed,
Like,
downrated, and said he's a defensive manager.
I don't think people realize these things. Like, what are we doing here? I'm looking here. Brentford. Wait, I tell a lie. Brentford have scored the same amount of goals as Liverpool. They scored the same amount. They've both got 19. Brentford have scored 2 less goals than Manchester City. 1 less goal than Chelsea, and we know we all wax lyrical about their attack. They've scored more goals than Arsenal and Aston Villa this season, and Brighton. So you telling me that Amorim can't get more out of this team? Yes, he can. That's why I'm not even looking at the summer yet. Get the most out of these players. Now, of course, we know we need improvement. We spoke about it. Wing-back areas. The number 10 areas. The striker area. However, they're better than this. Me and Spoobs was having this conversation yesterday, because he called into the fan calling show late. Big up to Spoobs, and he was saying, how much improvement do you expect to see from the team in terms of goals? And I said, I expect to see a significant improvement. You know why? Because of where the bar is. We are currently going at less than a goal a game.
Yep.
If Amorim can't get these man to 2 goals per game once he's here, because they'll have 27 games, because Rude will take the 11th. So he'll have 27 games. If he gets us to, and let's say we beat Leicester 1-0, that means we would have played 11 games and scored 10 goals. So that means Amorim has 27 games. So if he gets us at 2 goals a game, that's 54. Added into the 10, that's 64 goals. Which isn't enough, but it's better. And that's what I'm expecting. I have, Eddie mentioned it, high expectations. We can't wax lyrical about Amorim, but give him a blight because of the players now. Because if you just need 11 top-class to world-class players, give me the job then. If that's the case. Manage. Coach. And then in the summer, then go and get more of what you need. And it's going to take much more than one summer, people. And I'm fully aware of that. However, what I'm looking for is improvement. Fuck progress. No, fuck process. Progress. That's what I'm looking for. I don't care about no process. Respectfully, I'm not Arsenal. You know what I'm saying? You don't get no trophies for finishing second and challenging. I expect progress in regards to the team, in regards to the individuals, in regards to the results, in regards to the playing style and trophies. I'm already looking at him this season. Ivorian said it. This season's salvageable. This season is salvageable. If we don't win one of the 3 trophies, I will be disappointed. We're in the quarterfinal of the League Cup against Spurs. It'd be a tough game, but can we beat? Do I think we can beat Spurs? Yes. 110%. I think. I've seen teams not our quality beat Spurs. So do I think we can beat Spurs? Yes. FA Cup, obviously dependent on the favourable draw. If you're away at Anfield, away at the Etihad, and away at the Emirates, tough day. I'm not going to crash on him for that. However, if we get a favourable draw, which we've gotten in like we did in the Carabao Cup, hella home draws against lower league opposition, go win that. Europa League I'm looking at. That's the one I'm mainly looking at. Of course, I want us to move up the table in the Premier League, but guess what, people? You don't get no trophy for fourth. You don't get no trophy for top six. But you know what you get a trophy for? Going in, winning the Europa League. And then you know what the Europa League gets you? The same exact thing as top four people. Champions League football. And now again, Europa League, if we run into a Lyon in good form, an Athletic Club in good form, or a Lazio, or any team in a big European league, so Serie A, Bundesliga, La Liga, I'd accept that to an extent. Obviously, context matters in regards to how we went out of those competitions. But Bodo Glint and FCSB and Rangers and PAOK and Victoria P.
When I
We
said
better win 5 out of 5. PAOK, man. Like,
Is that
I'm
on
sorry.
Panathinaikos? Okay.
Did they change their name? Is it Panathinaikos?
PAOK, that's the initial Panathinaikos, isn't it?
Nah, I think it's not. I think it's another Greek team. Double check that. But the point I'm making is, I think it's not. It's a different team. I believe it's 15 points in the new European format to secure top 8. I think we're 4 points off of the top 8. We have 5 games. I expect 5 wins. I'm not hearing it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm expecting. And Jez said that's one thing, Amorim, that's a massive red flag. His European record is shocking. And you know what, Jez? That's something for him to improve on.
Well, are they not doing well in this current format of the Champions League?
But I think he's talking about previous like Champions League wins, Europa League. I ain't done my research. But the Europa League I'm looking at. So that's my thoughts. I have high expectations for him. Even in this first bit of a season, even though it's not a full season. But we'll see with Amorim. But you lot continue to run up the likes, Rohan. Big up for the super chat as well. And Ivorian, your thoughts, actually, before we do that, continue again. Run up the likes, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to Red United TV. I'm going to add Ivorian's channel into the title as well. Links underneath in the description. No stress, man. Do your thing. All good, all good. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. And even Rude, we play PAOK on Thursday, go win that game. We play Leicester on Sunday, go win that game. Or win them 2 games. That's where I'm at with it. So yeah, go win it. That's where I'm at. Let's see how many likes we actually on. Hey, Rohan, big up every single time. You already know. Blessings. 55 likes. Because it's like people say, oh, you need a lot of new players. Yes, we know that. It's going to take 2 years. Yes, we know that. I'm not expecting him this year to go win a Prem. Like, no, I'm not expecting next year to go win the Prem or the Champs if we're in it. But what I'm looking for is significant improvement overall with everything. Because you're significant. You're supposed to be the best. Or one of the best. You're the next up and coming. Out that class of next managers, you're supposed to be the guy. People say Ten Hag was supposed to be the guy. Yes. And Ten Hag turned out not to be. I'm saying, same way that girl who you went on a date with, you thought was going to be the love of your life. The relationship didn't work out. It's okay. You move on. That's where I'm at. Who do y'all want to see the most improvement with all these players? Definitely the defenders. So the likes of Dalit, even though we're not seeing Euro, but Euro, Martinez, Dalot, I think, can get a tune out of Malacia, Mazurari, Mano, Diallo. Casemiro, even though Casemiro's not improving, I just expect him to do what Rude's done and put him in a system to help him. Agate. Basically, all of the team body attackers pretty much, Jez. And even then, I expect more output from them. I'm expecting more output from our attackers. And not much more, but more goals, definitely. Yeah, go on, Eddie.
I think for me, it's just not even all of our attackers, but the young ones.
First.
Ahmad, Zersky, even Hoyland. No, I don't count Garnacho people. He's I don't want to hear shit about Garnacho anymore. But if you want to include him, because I said the young attackers, that's fine. I think that'll be the one thing I'm looking at Amber for is how do you improve this attack?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing. If he does that, I will be okay. Like, not at the expense of how we defend, of course, but if he improves our attack in this first spell that he has, then I'll be a bit more positive on him going forward. If it's more of the same, I'll be highly disappointed because that's what Ten Hag did when even in his first stint. When Ten Hag came, we thought there'd be a change. It was more of the same.
Yes.
So with Flawless here, I want to see a drastic difference in the way we play, the consistency in which we compete, and hopefully, and usually, a trophy comes out of that. You
Yeah,
know, but not just any trophy. I think for me, the Europa League is number one.
absolutely.
FA Cup is number two. League Cup is number three. Because I think with Europa, to Jens's point that he made earlier, hopefully that's him exercising his demons that he's had in the competition and starting that with us. So that's kind of like what I expect from him going forward. I don't want to have too high of expectations, but I do have high standards. And I know, that sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my neck, but the standards will remain the standards. Expectations, it just sounds a bit iffy to me to have expectations, certain expectations for him. But yeah, just changing of the play, give me a trophy. I'm not really tripping off of the rest of the shit.
I think with me, I think the most. I'm not worried about defense of the areas where I feel like we need to see the most improvement. It's that midfield of ours and the attack and the strikers that we have in terms of scoring goals and controlling the game. And I want to see Manchester United dominate midfield because again we all say midfield is where everything happens. Midfield is where games are won and lost, and for years and years and years I've seen my team fold in midfield, pass the ball off the pitch for a throw and accidentally. I just want to see the midfielder being able to retain possession and dominate and show that physicality and battle. And up front, it's about how are you going to make this team who's only scored 10 goals or 8 goals or 9 goals in the Premier League score more goals with an XG of 1, turn that to 2 or 3.1. How are you going to implement that? And again, style is very important because we want to see a style and we want to see an attacking brand, the style of football, and we want to see the transitions and we want to see our team pressing high up the pitch. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting from Amorim. It's not much of an ask. It's a demand from what we want to see as a Manchester United fan, as a Manchester United team, and our reputation and history demands that we need to see attacking football. I don't want to see counter-attacking football at all. That's not what I'm built for. I'm not about that. I'm not about being on the back row. Squeaky bum time is not me. I want to be off my chair and off my feet, commiserating and celebrating every goal like it was the best goal since sliced bread, bro. So come on, man. That's what I want to see from Amorim. If he can do that for me, then I'm happy. Because I just don't want to see us play defensive football and just always be on the back foot. Front foot football is what we want from him. So Amorim, please, I beg you. And also, just let them know that everyone's on fraud watch when you come in here. Don't be like, oh yeah, Bruno, you're my guy. No, Bruno, you was my guy back then. If you happened to manage him, or you was my guy back then. But this is a whole new kettle of fish, a different ball game. Things are different here, and you're all on fraud watch. Even if you play your best for 3 or 4 months, doesn't guarantee you that you will be here next season. I want to see ruthlessness from Amorim. Especially when it comes to players who are not performing. Reward players who are playing well. Don't reward players who have been playing who have been stinking up the place like Rashford and Bruno. Yeah, I want to see that, and I want to see a manager, animated in the touchline, involved in the game with passion and an effective communication. Because from what I see from Eric Ten Hag on the touchline, it's not motivating at all. It's just too stagnant and it's too stiff. I want to see. Pause, first of all.
Hey, yo.
Yeah. I just have to say pause. I just realized what I just said was a bit mad still. Yeah.
It's a bit crazy still, hey, yo.
Crazy still, but yeah, that's all I want to see. I just want to see the passion from the manager. All that passion transcend into the pitch with the players and as well. And happy to play for the manager. Happy to give it all for Manchester United. Happy to wear that badge on their chest and say, this is Manchester United. And we're about this. We want to win. We want to play the right way, and understand that that chant that we've seen it all. We've won a lot. We're Man United. We're never going to stop. Actually gets into their thick skull, and represent that on the pitch. That's all I want to see from Amorim and the players. But once again, I have to say this again. All those players are on fraud watch. Put them all on the list and then monitor them. Micromanage them if you have to. Don't take no bullshit from Marcus Rashford if he makes a mistake. If Bruno Fernandes passes the ball to no man's land and the pass is not on, I want you to have a go at him. I want you to correct his mistakes. I want you to teach him where to be. That's what I want to see. That's the manager I want to see. I want the manager to drag him off the pitch, go to the camera and say, why are you here? Why are you here when you're supposed to be there? And then from there, I can start respecting. And I can truly believe that there's a process being held and a process in hand. If I don't see that, and the first thing I see is, now I'll ask you guys the question, if you happen to see he's constantly playing Bruno, Rashford and Garnacho, are you looking at him funny? And they're still not performing?
Wait, once he
comes in,
if players are performing poorly and he doesn't drop him, yes, I'm definitely looking at him funny, 110%. And that's to everyone. Like, I'm not going it's more of the same. Like, we need to see, we're going to see something different because of the system. So I give you there's more grace because you're figuring out who can do what, because it's new to everybody. I think the vast majority, maybe minus a Delit, maybe a Maserati, I don't think any of these players have been in a system where they've played a back three consistently. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. There's probably 2 or 3 players in their career at some point that have been at a club where they've played a back three system. Delit's the only one. So the rest of them, it's new for everybody. So for instance, if Rashford's playing inside 10 and he tries it a couple games, all right, cool. But then if you try it 4, 5, 6 games and it's not working, there's where my issue lies. Try Diallo there. Try Maino there. Try Bruno there. If it don't work with Bruno, put Bruno back in the pivot. I want to see you attempting different things when it doesn't work. Even if I don't agree with the move. Do I want to see Bruno in the pivot in front of the back four? And back three, sorry. Absolutely not. However, if Bruno's doing terrible at the 10 and he tries it in a game for half an hour, or he tries it at the start, cool. Because maybe he stumbles across something that works, that is functional. Because that's all we're looking for. We're not looking for sensational. Well, I can only speak for me. I'm not looking for sensational. Because these players are far from sensational. They don't have that ability. I'm looking for functional. Can you get these men in a system? Can you get it to where they're performing a role that we compete against anybody? Rude did it against Chelsea. And you're miles better than Rude. You're miles better than Rude. So therefore, you can do the same. Because I agree with Madison where he says this attack is horrible. I agree with you on 110%. However, you can average 2 goals a game over 27 games.
It's never going to be an excuse.
Yeah.
It's never going to be an excuse again. The fact that Johnson is out there for Spurs, we have no more excuses, people. A manager can schematically set up the team to make sure that he's involved in goal scoring. We've seen it. For me, again, I think if he does not hold players accountable, that's strike number 1 all the time.
Absolutely.
We've seen Bruno drop generational stinker after generational stinker and still see him out there on that pitch. Same thing with Rashford. Same thing with Garnacho. Right? Same thing with those 3 players get away with murder. They really do. And they get to play again. That's what I'm trying to eliminate from this team. The idea that mediocrity is accepted has to be taken out of this team completely.
Absolutely.
People cannot think, even if they play bad, they still will play.
Yes. Agreed.
That has to be gone from this team. It's the worst part about it. It's honestly the worst thing about this team. We hold certain players accountable. Like, I'm already seeing people check out on Thursday and it's just like, fam.
That's crazy.
That was praising Hoyland during his own 16 run. And you already cooked this brother who I'm pretty sure has at least 4 assists and maybe 1 goal at this point of the season. Does he need to produce more? Yes. Have I seen enough to be have a bit more faith in him? The other, absolutely. Because I believe we're not even playing to his strengths, and he's still doing a decent job of at least involving himself on the pitch. The amount of time I've seen him place headers in positions for people to just receive the pass and continue in stride,
That's not something we're getting from Oil. So I can see operate, get the ball, put somebody, make a pass that puts somebody through on goal. I've seen that from him. Do I want to see more? Absolutely. But again, you gotta hold these dudes accountable. You cannot go through life not knowing you're a scrub if you're a scrub. It's dangerous to everybody around you. Scrubs not knowing they scrubs,
Yeah.
it's an issue. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, Scripps, and that's where it's at. And like you mentioned it there about Xerxes, I am not writing him off. You know what? Man's not even had 5 starts in a row yet, and people are writing him off. Do I have my concerns in regards to I don't think he can play as a 9 in his system? Do I think he's capable of playing as a 10? Yes. I think he's technically good enough and got a good link. He needs players around him. He needs players close. And if you're playing as one of the 10s, you have a 10 and a 9 automatically around you. The wing back, whichever side, whether he's playing as a left-sided 10 or a right-sided 10, you got 2 options either. So you got 2 options either side of you because you're going to drift probably. And then you have another midfielder there who may be getting forward at times. So that's a striker, your 10, 2 wings. So you got 5 players around you. You got half the outfield around you. And you're congested centrally there. And then you got the outlet balls in your 2 wide players. So I look at it and I go, all right, we'll see what going with Xerxes. But we need improvement anyway. Despite that, do I expect to see a better Xerxes? Yes. Because of Amorim. Because I don't think Xerxes is a scrub. I don't think he's terrible. I don't think I think again, comes back to that word, functional. I think he's a functioning player. I think he can be a part of a squad that is good. I think he has enough attributes I've seen already where I go, all right, you can play as a 10. Maybe even as a 9 if there's pace off you. So we'll see what's what. Big up to Arab King every single time. How many players do you see getting cleansed from the squad in the next 2 windows? Is this January, Arab King, or are you saying
I think he's
the
talking
2
about
summers?
summer because
If you're
January
talking the 2 summers, that's totally on Amorim. Because guess what could happen? These players, and I don't think this will happen, and I think most people won't, but let's say he implements his system and more players adapt to it than we believe. Players actually play better in the roles than we expect. And Amorim's probably surprised by it and goes, oh, such and such can play wing back. Or this player can actually play as a 10. Or this player can play as a 6 in the pivot. Or this player is actually good at playing a left-sided or right-sided centre-back, for example. Let's say they're better than he expects, then it's less. Because we'll go back to the Emery and the Villa situation. It probably, if you were to ask the Villa fan, how many players do you want God from the squad, they would have said everybody. Now, yes, he cleansed the squad. But he didn't. I believe there's some players still there. I'll have to double check in terms of outgoings. But even in that first season, you would have thought, who's he going to get rid of? And he still got results. So that's how I look at it. It's on Amorim. Whatever Amorim's on, I'm with. That's where I'm at.
I think Shaw's out of here.
Yeah, Shaw's probably out of it. But then again, he might say, you know what? Miraculously, Shaw stays fit and is a decent left-sided centre back.
No, I don't want to hear
I know.
that.
I want him gone. Don't get misunderstood. I want him gone. However, what I'm saying is, let's say Shaw stays fit and actually starts playing well and is a good backup left-sided centre-back. That could happen.
That could happen, but I think
I know it won't.
what we expect to happen is Shaw play well when he gets his appearances for about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yep.
Then we find out he pulled a groin or a hamstring type shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I expect. Like, I would say Shaw, Guire, Lindelof.
You can get rid of the whole lot of them. If you're asking me personally, you'd know me.
I
I'd get rid of the whole lot of them.
to be gone.
The Brazilian left here was a Brazilian left-footed demon. He's out of here. Shaw's out of here. Maguire's out of here. Lindelof's out of here. Who else? Mount's out of here. Bruno, Rashford, Garnacho, Højlund. We ain't got no. If it's me, we ain't got no team. People, we playing 5-a-side. We going Power League. We playing 5-a-side with a couple subs. To be honest.
Those are the ones who should be gone because you've been here how long and you've done what?
What?
You haven't earned the cat's head to continuously be here.
What?
City got rid of Mahrez. Who the fuck is he? Who the fuck is he?
Brazilian 1v1 demon. Brazilian 1v1 demon. Absolutely. Like, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, I'm with what? So, to answer your question, Arab King, I'm with what Amorim wants. Because he's going to make decisions I don't like.
Yeah,
He's going to make this. He's going to play players I don't like even in the 2025-26 season. I don't think. But what I'm expecting, like I said, is him to hold players accountable. I'm expecting change and get players functioning. I want all these players gone, to be honest. It's not going to happen, no. So get them in a functioning system. Get them scoring goals to a good level. Get us competing because we're good enough to compete against anybody. Not win, compete. And then you build from there. I'm looking at the trophies like I mentioned as well. So we'll see what's what. With we'll see what's what with Amorim and the team. But yeah, we move. You know what I'm saying? Shaw, Mount, Trashford, Garnacho, Lindelof, Bruno, ain't nobody. All them needs to find new clubs or retire. Don't care. They just need to cut. I hear you, Rohan. I hear you, but unfortunately, football don't work like Football Manager. And I'm with you. I would love to get rid. I would gut the squad completely. Get rid of like 90% of these players, but it don't work like that. So, all right, you get rid of 4 or 5 and you bring in 4 or 5. And then the next window, you get rid of 4 or 5 and then you bring in 4 or 5. And then 26, 27, that's when you're looking at, okay, this is now your team. You've now had 2 windows. The 11 should be yours bare minimum. And then you never know what youth players could come up in those 2 years as well. That could help him. Could be a couple youth players who are just solid squad players who help out. Backup centre-back, backup squad player, backup winger. Backup wing-back, backup pivot player or backup 10. Never know what could happen, or players we get on the cheap. So, there's a lot. I like it. I said the Amorim algorithm. That's fire, that, man. That's fire still. The Amorim algorithm. That'll probably be a title.
Yeah, right. It rolls off the tongue. Like
That's fire. It is. But yeah, you lot, final few questions. We're only at 63 likes. Get us up to 70 likes. Hit the subscribe button on the channel. Don't forget, we will be live on the playback 30 minutes before kickoff for the Real Madrid AC Milan game. That's the game I'm doing, but I'm sure more of the panelists will be watching the Sporting Manchester City game or other Champions League games as well. And then following that, 11:30 p.m. UK time. 11:30 p.m. UK time, the Manchester United, Manchester City show, myself and Veta. Veta's got plenty to say. Obviously, City not doing too well. So, when I messaged him about the show yesterday, he was like, a lot of people ain't going to like me. And I was like, oh, this going to be a good show. But shout out to my guy, Veta. Make sure you subscribe to Veta Games TV. I'm saying, always selling that Gatorade. It ain't even Gatorade, man. You don't sell Gatorade or Kool-Aid. Gatorade, I'm telling you. This guy always selling it all the time. But yeah, let's get predictions from the ManDem as well. Next 2 games, we'll go to you, Ivorian, PAOK at home on Thursday.
Thursday, since we've never heard of them, never ever heard of the PAOK, yeah, that is our first 3 points in the Europa League. 100% that we should be beating this team because we don't even know who the hell they are. We can't even name a single player. It's gonna be hard for us to get a PNG photo of one of the players. It's gonna be difficult when you're doing your thumbnail. You want to get a player from Manchester United and a player from PAOK.
I already did it, man. Bakayoko's there, man. I did it.
I'll find him. Yeah.
Bakayoko's there. Yeah.
No, that's the struggles of trying to do the thumbnail when the team you've never heard of and trying to get that
Bakayoko's there, man.
Picture transparent. No.
Bakayoko's there, so he's at the thumbnail.
He's on the thumbnail. I probably have to mimic you.
I think Shortai is there as well. I think Shortai is there as well.
Oh, Sholo Shitore.
Yeah, he's there.
Him as well.
I think
that's
he's there.
Good. That's good for the Manchester United Academy graduate. But yeah, I'm definitely we should
he's there. Yeah, he's there as well. Mm-hmm.
I might have to use him as well.
They're in Greece.
Yeah, they're
Greek.
Yeah, they're Greek.
So that's a thrashing 3-0 win, man. And then on the weekend, we'll see what the real Leicester play because the Leicester we played in the Carabao Cup have made 7 changes and played probably like their second team. And this game is away from home, right?
No, both at home. 2 home games.
Both at home. That's brilliant. Yeah. That is 2 wins for Manchester United this week. A 3-0 thrashing and a 2-0 win against Leicester.
Okay, first. Yeah. I hear that. Eddie, what are you telling us, man? Scoreline prediction for both.
I'll go 3-0, 2-0.
Okay.
3-0, 2-0. I think Rude will play a bit more of an attacking type of team. I think the team he set up with against Chelsea was meant to defend, meant to press high, not press distinctly and just make it a terrible time for them. But I think we've seen this team can play football when they want to, or he can set them up to play football when he wants to. So I'll go 3-0, 2-0. This is just because of the quality of the opposition.
Mm-hmm.
I think PAOK will
misunderstood to me be explained with them. I think Leicester as a team, it's only Vardy we're looking out for. Vardy's the party crasher.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
the
yeah.
one that can really fuck the day up just by him being all off of his Red Bull high. So,
Yo, you've sounded a bit far away, Eddie.
You're
Voice
too
is
far away
vocal.
from the mic.
let me, maybe it's my headphones. How much sound?
Now you're good. You're better now. I think you just
Yeah.
need to far go on camera.
Okay, so yeah, no, I'd say 3-0, 2-0. Vardy off of a Red Bull is the only danger they really got. If we see him out the game, I think we'll be straight. So.
I don't think you guys caught what he just said there. Vardy off the Red Bull.
That's a demon time, man. That is he's on
Demon
demon
time.
time with that Red Bull.
Out here breaking corner flags and shit, cussing
Yeah,
at
yeah,
Keith.
yeah. He on demon time.
He don't smoke, so we gotta make sure he don't see none of that shit. He don't see the goal. He don't give him opportunity, because he's gonna have a celebration if we do fuck that shit up. But I think we'll be okay. This is not the same Leicester. This is a Leicester that teams have gone and pretty much taken all their talent, and in order to survive, they haven't spent that money on the pitch. They spent it just on administrative issues, from what I've been seeing. So,
And the manager's a scrub too. The manager of Leicester's a scrub too.
who's the manager?
The same guy you just lit not long ago. The former Nottingham Forest manager.
It's Cooper.
Yeah, we can't lose.
We can't lose.
We can't
We can't
lose.
lose. Hopefully they drug test him before the game. But we can't lose.
This guy crazy. Well, you lot, make sure you subscribe to Ivorian's channel. Links in the title. Red United TV. Click the link in the title. Opens up a new tab. Subscribe, and you'll find all his socials on there as well. Ivorian, let them know where else they can find you, what you've got coming up over the week. All that good
man.
stuff.
All that good stuff, man. We've got the watch along against PAOK. I can't get over it, bro. And obviously the watch along against Leicester as well. I always start my stream 30 minutes before kickoff. And of course, as well, follow Red United TV on Red United TV 1 on Instagram as well. Follow me personally at Ivorian_Spice on X and also Instagram. Yeah, and subscribe to the channel and subscribe to Red United TV as well.
Make sure you do that, people. Subscribe. Links in the title. I've already mentioned it already. Make sure you follow the playback. You see it right here on the screen. Playback.tv/Sarcasm City TV, people. Or download the app from your store. It's free. That's where we'll be doing the Champions League watch along today, which is Real Madrid versus AC Milan. And then 11:30 p.m. UK time, we'll be back live here. First crossover, ManDem United, ManDem City, with myself and Vader talking both Manchester clubs. In regards to my predictions, I agree with the ManDem as well. 3-0 against PAOK, 2-0 against Leicester. And then we're into the international break. So big love. Shout out to everyone supporting. Don't forget as well, this show, all the other shows on the channel are available on all audio platforms as well. Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, etc., people. So make sure you do indeed, if you use Spotify, follow us and 5-star us on Spotify. Same with iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, because that's all the shows you see on the channel apart from watch alongs are on there in audio only platform. But big up, love to everyone that's locked in. This has been, we're going to redirect to Lee Gunner as well, so put Sarcasm City Raid in the chat. And this has been the ManDem United podcast live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in.